What do you do when your own family treats you like a walking ATM at your parents' anniversary and hands you a $1,000 bill like you are the help? How does a quiet film editor go from ripping that bill in silence to getting a call from the bank that wipes the smiles off their faces an hour later? This is how I stopped being their wallet and became the man who finally closed their tab. Before we go any further, take a second to subscribe, hit the hype button, and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? The timeline is never on my side. I narrow my eyes at the editing suite's 3 monitors, replaying the same 20-second sequence for the 9th time this morning. The director wants more emotional impact in a car commercial. I shift the audio waveform 2 frames to the left, tighten the cut on the driver's smile, and add a gentle rise to the music bed. That subtle rhythm that makes people feel something without realizing what caused it. "Colin, you're a magician," my producer Kate says, leaning over my shoulder. "The client's going to love this version." Let's hope so. I save 3 backup copies out of habit. "Oh, one thing," she grimaces. "They want to see 2 more variations by Friday." I glance at the clock. 4:30. My parents' anniversary dinner starts at 6, and I promised my mother I would be there on time. I'll get started tomorrow morning. The drive home is a blur of brake lights. I park and take the stairs 2 at a time to my 3rd-floor apartment. Inside, I strip off my work shirt and grab a cleaner button-down from the closet. On my desk, a thick folder of invoices and bank statements sits beside my laptop. A red notification dot glows on my phone screen. Linked card activity, $847.23 at Premier Home Furnishings. I frown. I did not buy any furniture. The notification is tied to one of the accounts I share with my family, set up years ago for emergencies. No time to deal with it now. I pocket my phone and head back out. Traffic is worse than I expected. I sit in gridlock, watching the clock tick past 6, then 6:15. I text the family group chat, "Running late, sorry. Be there soon." No response. I pull into the restaurant lot at 6:40. It's an upscale place. Valet parking, linen napkins. I skip the valet and hurry inside. The hostess leads me to a private room. I open the door and freeze. The long table is littered with empty plates, drained wine glasses, and half-eaten desserts. My family, my mother Margaret, my father Leon, my sister Tara, and her husband Colby, are laughing comfortably. "Oh, look who finally decided to show up," Tara says, wearing a new expensive dress. "Client changes ran long," I say, taking the one empty seat. "We figured," my mother replies. "We went ahead and ordered." "That's fine," I say, reaching for the menu. "We already ate," Colby says proudly. "Fantastic steaks. Shame you missed it." My stomach growls, but I set the menu down. Tara launches into a story about their upcoming Sedona trip. Colby adds something about renting a convertible. My father watches but says nothing, like always. Then my mother stands, picks up the bill folder, walks over, and places it in front of me. "Since you're here now, you can take care of this," she says lightly. "Everyone paid by being on time." I open the folder. $1,047. 4 faces smile at me, relaxed, expecting. "You're kidding," I whisper. Tara laughs. "Colin, you make great money editing commercials. We know you can afford it." "And you're basically our ATM anyway," she adds with a shrug. No one disagrees, not my mother, not my silent father, not even the server waiting nearby. A cold feeling settles inside me. I pick up the bill and tear it cleanly in half. The room falls completely silent. I place my credit card on top of the 2 torn pieces. "Enjoy the rest of your evening," I say, and walk out. Behind me, Tara scoffs. "Oh my God, what a drama queen." Someone laughs. I don't look back. Outside in the cold parking lot, my hands shake. I just paid for an entire dinner I wasn't part of. Because I was late, because they treat me like a service. My phone vibrates. I expect more messages from the family group chat. Instead, it's an unknown number. "Hello? Mr. Mercer? This is Cameron from the fraud department at Valley Trust Bank. We're calling to verify unusual charges on a card linked to your account. Do you have a moment?" I lean against my car, staring at the dark sky. "Yes," I say. "I have a moment." I do not go straight home. I drive aimlessly for a while, trying to make sense of what just happened. By the time I pull into my parking garage, it is almost 9. I drop my keys on the counter and sink into the chair at my editing desk. I pull out my phone and start scrolling. Bank notifications, dozens of them, hundreds maybe. I have been ignoring them for years. Now I read them one by one, watching the pattern emerge. Transfer to Tara Grant, $500. Note, emergency car repair. Transfer to Margaret Mercer, $1,200. Note, property tax help. Charge on linked card, $643. Merchant, Bella Vista Spa and Salon. Transfer to Tara Grant, $800. Note, rent shortage this month. On and on. I scroll back through 2 years of transaction history. Every few weeks, sometimes every few days, money flowing out of my accounts into theirs. I remember each one now. The car repair that turned out to be optional upgrades, the property tax that was not due for 3 more months, the rent shortage that happened the same week Tara posted beach vacation photos. I was working, always working. Too busy to notice. Or maybe I noticed and chose not to see. My laptop is already open. I pull up a folder titled Family Stuff. Inside are scanned documents from 5 years ago, when my parents were starting to worry about managing their finances. They asked me to help, said they trusted me. I see my name on account after account, co-trustee on their savings, primary guarantor on a line of credit, secondary signer on their checking account. Emergency. That word shows up a lot in these documents. I open a new document and start making a list. Not of transactions, those are already in the bank records. A list of conversations, moments I remember. Thanksgiving 2 years ago. Tara asked for money for Colby's dealership expenses. Said it was temporary. I transferred the money that night. My father's birthday last year. I arrived with a gift. Tara arrived with a story about maxed out credit cards and could I help just this once? I helped. Christmas, Easter, 4th of July. Every holiday blending together into a pattern I refuse to name. My phone buzzes. The family group chat. Tara. So, are we going to talk about Colin's little tantrum tonight or just pretend it didn't happen? Margaret. I'm sure he was just stressed from work. He'll apologize tomorrow. Colby. Dude needs to learn how to take a joke. Tara. Seriously. And after we included him in our celebration too? I stare at the messages. Included me. They included me by eating without me and handing me the bill. I do not respond. Instead, I open my email and search for messages from Tara. Hundreds. I start reading. Hey, can you help me out with something? I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. You're the only one who understands money stuff. You're seriously the best brother ever. Every message ends with flattery or guilt. Half include emojis, hearts, smiley faces, praying hands. I close my laptop and make a sandwich, not tasting it, thinking about something Leo said months ago. Leo Santoro. Another editor, friend for years. One night after work, we grabbed drinks. I mentioned helping my family with expenses. That's good of you, he said. Family should help each other. Sometimes I feel like I'm helping more than they need. He looked at me carefully. How much more? I shrugged. I don't keep track. Maybe you should. He leaned back. I had a cousin like that. Always needed help. Turned out the emergency was just his lifestyle, and I was funding it. What did you do? Stopped. He said it simply. Cut him off. He figured it out. Got a second job, adjusted his spending. I finish my sandwich. Pour water. Sit back down. The folder of documents is still open. I page through them slowly now, reading the fine print. Co-trustee authority. Guarantor responsibilities. Authorization to modify account structures for the protection of the primary account holders. That last phrase catches my eye. Protection of the primary account holders. My parents. The money is supposed to protect them, not fund Tara's spa days and resort vacations. I pull up my bank's website. There is a phone number for account services. Available 24 hours. I check the time, 9:50. But I do not call yet. I am not ready. Instead, I open a new document and title it. Timeline. I start writing. Every time I remember giving money, every time someone asked, every excuse, every promise. The document grows longer. 2 pages, 5 pages, 10. I write until midnight, until my eyes hurt, until the story is there in black and white, undeniable. My phone buzzes one more time. Tara. BTW. We're going to need one more big favor soon. Nothing crazy. I'll explain later. But having a film editor in the family is seriously better than having a savings account, LOL. I set the phone face down on the desk. Tomorrow, I will call the bank. Tonight, I need to sleep. But first, I save the timeline document, back it up to 3 different locations, and title the backup folder, Receipts. Sunday afternoon, the sunlight feels too harsh. I'm standing on my parents' back patio, holding a glass of iced tea I don't want, listening to Tara and Colby talk as if nothing happened days ago. So, we're thinking leather interior, Colby says casually. Dealership might get me a discount, but quality still costs. Exactly, Tara adds, showing off her designer sunglasses. You pay more, but it lasts. My mother steps out carrying a plate of cookies. Colin, have one. I made them this morning. Thanks, Mom. Your father's inside watching the game, she offers. I'm fine here. Tara stretches, relaxed. Oh, I meant to tell you. We're looking at a property in Scottsdale. Investment opportunity. Market is wild right now. You're buying property? I ask. Maybe. We have some points saved, and there's this line of credit thing Mom helped us set up. Something with the family accounts. You're on it too, I think. I freeze. What line of credit? My mother busies herself with the cookies again. Oh, it was just some bank paperwork. Nothing major. What paperwork? Colin, you're always working. We didn't want to bother you. You trust us, don't you? Those words hang heavily. Of course, I say automatically. A moment later, they decide they have to get going. My mother complains they just arrived. Colby shrugs, checking his probably new watch. Tara grabs her purse. Oh, check your email later. I sent you something about that favor I mentioned. They walk off, car crunching down the gravel driveway. My mother starts gathering glasses. It's nice having everyone together, she says softly. I don't respond. Inside, my father watches a football game he doesn't care about, pretending not to see me. In the kitchen, I notice an envelope on the counter with the Valley Trust Bank logo. My parents' names. My name. What's this? My mother enters behind me. Just updates. Tara handled everything. Show me. Colin, it's really not important. I open the envelope. Several documents spill out. Account modifications, credit line expansions, authorization changes. My name is on every page, but I never signed any of it. When did you fill these out? A few months ago, my mother says quickly. Tara said it would streamline things. It's all family money anyway. Family money. I flip through the pages again. These papers give them access, remove restrictions, increase borrowing limits, place me as guarantor for significant debt. Did the bank explain this to you? They sent forms, but banks are always confusing. Tara said it was fine. I look at her. Really look. A 68-year-old retired teacher. Sharp enough to understand exactly what she signed, but unconcerned because the risk belongs to me, not her. I need to make a phone call. Now? You just got here. It's important. I step outside and call the bank. Valley Trust Bank. How can I help you? I need to report possible unauthorized activity on accounts linked to my name. After verification and transfers, a senior account manager, Doug Halpern, picks up. Mr. Mercer, I understand you want a complete review of all linked accounts? Yes. Every card, every credit line, every authorization. We can schedule an in-person appointment. Tuesday at 2? That works. Bring any documents you have. It'll speed things up. I will. When I hang up, I stand on the patio for a long moment, feeling the weight of a decision settling inside me. Something global shifts, like a line has quietly been crossed. Through the kitchen window, I see my mother explaining something to my father, gesturing sharply. He nods the way he always does, passive, compliant. I step inside. I have to go, Mom. Work thing. On a Sunday? Freelance. She follows me to the door. Are you upset? Because Tara was joking the other night. I know. She loves you. We all do. You hold this family together, Colin. Her hand lies on my arm. Familiar, warm, and manipulative in its softness. I'll call you later, I say, and walk out. I drive home in complete silence. No radio, no thoughts I want to hear. Later that night, I open a folder in my desk. Old documents from years ago when all this began. When I agreed to help. When I signed things because I trusted them. Co-trustee on their retirement funds. Primary guarantor on a home equity line of credit. Joint account holder for their emergency checking. Authorized to make changes. Authorized to protect them. Authorized to be responsible. I pick up my phone, open notes, and type one sentence. I am not their ATM. I switch off the light and lie awake, knowing sleep won't come. Tuesday afternoon, I arrive at the bank 15 minutes early. Valley Trust Bank's main branch is all glass and polished steel, designed to look modern and trustworthy. I sit in the lobby and watch people come and go. Young couples opening their first joint account. An elderly man asking about certificates of deposit. A woman arguing quietly with a teller about a declined transaction. Normal people, normal problems. Mr. Mercer, I look up. A man in his early 50s, graying hair, good suit, extends his hand. Doug Halpern. Thanks for coming in. His handshake is firm, professional. He leads me through the lobby to a row of offices along the back wall. His desk is organized but not empty, framed photos of what looks like a family vacation, a coffee mug with the bank's logo, stacks of folders in neat rows. Please have a seat. He gestures to a chair across from his desk. Can I get you coffee? Water? I'm fine, thanks. He settles into his own chair and pulls up something on his computer. So, you mentioned you want a complete review of all accounts linked to your name. Yes. All right. Let me pull up your profile. His fingers move across the keyboard. He is quiet for a moment, reading. Then his eyebrows rise slightly. Okay, I see what you mean. There's quite a bit here. How much? He turns his monitor so I can see it. The screen shows a list of accounts, each one with my name attached in various capacities. Primary holder, co-trustee, guarantor, authorized user. 14 accounts total, he says. Some are yours individually, some are joint with family members, and others list you as a guarantor or secondary holder. Can you break that down for me? He nods and starts clicking through screens, explaining each one. My personal checking and savings, my parents' retirement savings account, where I am co-trustee, their checking account, where I am listed for emergency access, a home equity line of credit in their name, but with me as primary guarantor, 3 credit cards linked to my account with different names as authorized users. And this one, he says, clicking to another screen, is interesting. It's a business line of credit established 8 months ago. The primary borrower is Colby Grant, but it's secured against your credit rating and your parents' home equity. I lean forward. I didn't sign anything for that. Are you sure? He scrolls down. I show electronic authorization dated February 14th. I didn't authorize anything in February. He frowns and makes a note. We'll need to look into that. If there was unauthorized use of your information, that's a serious issue. What about the credit cards? The ones with authorized users? He pulls up those accounts. 3 cards. Tara is listed as an authorized user on 2 of them. Margaret on 1. The spending on all 3 is significant. Thousands of dollars per month. These cards were supposed to have limits, I say. $500 monthly on each one. They did originally. He clicks to a history screen. But the limits were increased 6 months ago. Here and here. He points to authorization forms, electronic signatures, my name. I didn't approve those either. Doug Halpern leans back in his chair, studying me. Mr. Mercer, I need to ask you something directly. Do you believe someone in your family has been accessing your accounts or using your information without your permission? I meet his eyes. Yes. Okay. He nods slowly. Then we need to treat this as a potential fraud case. That changes things. How? Well, first, we'll need to investigate the questionable authorizations. If they were made without your knowledge, they can be contested. Second, we can freeze certain accounts or cards immediately to prevent further unauthorized access. Third, we'll need to review all recent activity and flag anything that seems inconsistent with your normal usage patterns. He starts typing, pulling up more screens. This is going to take some time to sort through properly, but based on what I'm seeing, there's definitely cause for concern. What do you mean? He turns the monitor again, shows me a graph tracking spending over the past 3 years on the linked cards. The line starts low and steady. Then, about 18 months ago, it begins to climb. Slowly at first, then more sharply. In the past 6 months, it is almost vertical. Someone has been increasing their spending significantly, he says, and because these cards are linked to your credit, it's affecting your credit utilization ratio. Not enough to hurt your score yet, but if it continues, what else? The business line of credit I mentioned, the one secured against your credit rating, there's an outstanding balance of $42,000. I go cold. $42,000? Yes, and based on the payment history, the minimum payments are being made, but barely. The balance is growing, not shrinking. I didn't even know that account existed. That's the problem, Mr. Mercer. He closes the screen and looks at me directly. You're financially responsible for debts you may not have even agreed to take on, and the people using these accounts seem to be treating them like unlimited resources. I sit back in my chair, processing. $42,000. Cards with no real limits. My credit rating on the line for someone else's business. What can I do? I ask. Several things. First, you can revoke authorization on the credit cards. That cuts off access immediately. Second, you can demand documentation on the business line of credit and potentially contest it if you didn't actually consent. Third, And this is important. You can modify your co-trustee status on your parents' accounts to require dual authorization for certain types of transactions. Meaning? Meaning that any withdrawal above a certain amount or any new line of credit would require both you and the other account holder to approve it, not just one person acting alone. Can we do that today? We can start the process today. Some changes are immediate. Others will require paperwork and possibly a meeting with all account holders to explain the new structure. I think about that. A meeting. With my parents. With Tara and Colby. How long would that take to set up? A few days, maybe a week. We'd need to coordinate schedules. Do it, I say. He nods and makes more notes. I'm also going to recommend you speak with a financial attorney, someone who specializes in family financial disputes. You may need legal advice on how to protect yourself going forward. Do you have someone you recommend? He pulls out a business card from his desk drawer. Allison Price. She's worked with our clients before on similar issues. Very knowledgeable, and she understands the intersection of family relationships and financial law. I take the card. Allison Price. Financial advisory and legal services. A local address, a phone number. Thank you. One more thing, Mr. Mercer. Doug leans forward. I need to be clear about something. If we move forward with this, it's going to be uncomfortable. Your family will know you're making changes. They may not react well. I understand. Do you? Because in my experience, money and family are the two things that can destroy relationships faster than anything else. Once you start putting up boundaries, people who are used to access will push back. Hard. I know. He studies me for a moment, then nods. All right, then let's get started. We spend the next 2 hours going through every account in detail. He prints out summaries, highlights areas of concern, walks me through what each change will mean. By the time we finish, I have a folder full of papers and a clear picture of just how deep this goes. I'll send you an email summary by end of business today, Doug says as we stand, and I'll start the process for that account holder meeting. You'll get a calendar invite once we have a date confirmed. Thank you. One last thing. He walks me to the door of his office. I've seen cases like this before. People who care too much, who want to help, who get taken advantage of. The hardest part isn't the money. It's accepting that the people you trusted were willing to use you. I nod, but do not say anything. Just remember, he continues, protecting yourself isn't the same as abandoning your family. You're allowed to have boundaries. I shake his hand and walk out through the lobby. The same people are there, or people like them, conducting their normal business, worrying about their normal problems. I sit in my car for a few minutes before starting the engine. Then I pull out the business card Doug gave me and dial the number. Allison Price's office. Hi, my name is Colin Mercer. Doug Halpern from Valley Trust Bank referred me. I need to speak with Ms. Price about a family financial matter. Of course. Let me check her availability. Can you hold for just a moment? Yes. More hold music. I watch people walk in and out of the bank. A mother with 2 small children, an old man moving slowly with a cane. Everyone with their own lives, their own problems. Mr. Mercer, Ms. Price has an opening tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Would that work for you? Yes. Perfect. I'll send you a confirmation email with the address and some intake forms to fill out beforehand. Thank you. I hang up and finally start the car. As I pull out of the parking lot, my phone buzzes. A message in the family group chat. Tara. Hey, who wants to do dinner this Friday? There's a new place downtown I want to try. Margaret. Sounds lovely. Leon and I are free. Colby. We're in. Tara. Perfect. Colin, you coming? My treat this time? I stare at the message. My treat. Using what money, I wonder. I do not respond. Instead, I drive to the studio. Even though it is late afternoon, I need to work, need to sit in front of my monitors and do something that makes sense. Something where the cuts are clean, the timing is perfect, and the story comes together the way it should. Not like real life, where the story has been broken for years and I am only now seeing how badly. Allison Price's office is on the 3rd floor of a converted warehouse downtown. The building is old brick on the outside, modern and clean on the inside. Her waiting room has comfortable chairs and a coffee station. I arrive 10 minutes early and fill out the intake form she emailed me. Basic information, summary of the situation, what I hope to accomplish. At exactly 10, she opens the door. Colin Mercer? Yes. Come on in. Allison is in her mid-40s, sharp eyes behind stylish glasses, wearing a professional suit that somehow also looks comfortable. Her office is organized but lived in, and shelves full of legal books and binders, a large desk covered in neat stacks of papers, a window overlooking the street below. Please sit. She gestures to a chair across from her desk. Can I get you anything? Coffee? Water? I'm fine. She settles into her chair and pulls up a file on her laptop. So Doug Halpern sent me a summary of your situation, but I'd like to hear it from you. Start wherever makes sense. I tell her. About the anniversary dinner, about the pattern of demands over the years, about discovering the extent of the accounts and the debt. She listens without interrupting, occasionally making notes on a legal pad. When I finish, she sits back. Okay, first question. Do you want to maintain any financial connection to your family? To my parents, yes. I want to make sure they're taken care of, but not to my sister or her husband. Understood. Second question. Are you willing to have difficult conversations and potentially damage those relationships? I think about Tara's smirk at the restaurant, Colby's casual dismissal, my mother's assumption that I will always pay. Yes. Good. Because what you're describing is financial abuse. It's not illegal unless there was fraud involved, which we'll investigate, but it is absolutely a pattern of exploitation, and you have every right to stop it. She pulls up a document on her screen. Doug sent me the account information. Let me walk through what I think you should do. For the next hour, she explains. The co-trustee status on my parents' accounts can be modified to require dual authorization for large withdrawals or new credit lines. The credit cards with authorized users can be closed immediately. The business line of credit will be trickier. We will need to determine if my signature was forged or if I was deceived into authorizing it. The key, she says, is that we do this methodically, step by step, document everything, make sure every change is legally sound. What about my parents' protection? That's actually the easiest part. You're not cutting them off from their own money. You're just making sure that money stays theirs. Right now, based on what you've told me, your sister has essentially unlimited access to their accounts through the cards and lines of credit. We're going to close those access points while maintaining your parents' full access to their own funds. They're not going to see it that way. Probably not. At least not at first. She closes her laptop and looks at me directly. Let me ask you something. When you think about your parents losing access to their money because your sister spent it all, how does that make you feel? Angry. Good. Hold on to that. Because when they try to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries, you need to remember that you're protecting them from financial ruin, whether they understand that right now or not. She pulls out several documents and slides them across the desk. These are the forms we need to file. Account modifications, credit card closures, authorization revocations. I'll prepare everything, but you'll need to sign. I start reading through the papers. Legal language, but Allison has flagged the important parts with sticky notes and clear explanations. How long will this take? I ask. The immediate changes, card closures, spending limits, can happen within 48 hours once you sign. The deeper restructuring will take about a week, and Doug mentioned he wants to schedule a family meeting at the bank. Yes. That's good. It's better to have these conversations in a neutral space with a professional present. People are less likely to make a scene, and the bank can explain the policies in institutional terms rather than personal ones. I keep reading. Each form represents a door closing. Each signature is me taking back control. What about the business line of credit? I ask. The one with Colby's name on it. We'll need to investigate that separately. If you didn't authorize it, that's fraud. If you did, but were misled about what you were signing, that's grounds for contesting it. Either way, we can work to get your name removed from it. And if they default on the payments? That's exactly why we need to act now. If they default while you're still the guarantor, it hits your credit and potentially your assets. Once we get your name off it, their financial problems become their problems, not yours. She hands me a pen. I know this feels harsh, but you're not doing anything wrong. You're setting reasonable boundaries that most people have with their extended family. The fact that this feels extreme just shows how extreme the situation has become. I sign the first document, then the second, then the third. My hand is steady, no shaking, no hesitation. There's one more thing I want you to think about, Allison says as I work through the stack. When this all comes out, your family is going to say you're being selfish. They're going to try to make you the bad guy. Are you prepared for that? I think so. You need to be sure, because they will use every emotional tool they have. Guilt, anger, manipulation. They'll say you're tearing the family apart. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you don't care about them anymore. What should I say back? The truth, that you love them, but you won't be used anymore. That you'll always make sure your parents have what they need, but you won't fund anyone's luxury lifestyle. That being family doesn't mean unlimited access to your resources. She stands and walks to her window, looking down at the street. I've been doing this kind of work for 20 years. I've seen every variation of family financial abuse. And I'll tell you what I tell everyone. The people who love you will understand boundaries. The people who just want your money will call you selfish. That tells you everything you need to know. I finished signing the last form and stacked them neatly on her desk. When should I expect the family meeting? I asked. Doug said he'd try to schedule it within the week. I'll be there, either in person or on the phone, to provide legal context if needed. Thank you. Colin. She turns from the window. You're doing the right thing. I know it doesn't feel like it yet, but you are. I leave her office with another folder of papers and a sense of momentum building. Something is happening. Something I cannot stop now, even if I wanted to. At the studio, Leo catches me in the break room. Hey man, you okay? You've seemed distracted this week. I pour coffee I do not really want, just to have something to do with my hands. Family stuff. The dinner thing you mentioned before? Yeah, turns out it's bigger than I thought. He leans against the counter. How much bigger? Tens of thousands of dollars bigger. He whistles low. That's not helping. That's being used. I know. What are you going to do? I already did it. I'm cutting them off. Good. He nods firmly. About time. You don't think I'm being harsh? Harsh? He laughs, but there is no humor in it. Colin, if a client did to you what your family has done, you'd drop them immediately. You wouldn't even think twice. Family doesn't get to treat you worse than strangers. That's not how it works. I sip the coffee. It is too hot. Burns my tongue a little. They're going to be really angry, I say. Let them be angry. You're not responsible for managing their emotions when they're mad that you stopped letting them use you. We stand there in silence for a moment. Then Leo claps me on the shoulder. You need anything? I'm here. You need someone to go with you to that bank meeting? I'll take the afternoon off. Thanks. I mean it. You're one of the good ones, Colin. Don't let them make you feel bad for finally standing up for yourself. That night, I sit at my editing station at home and do something I have not done in a while. I work on a personal project. Just a short film, something I started years ago and never finished. A story about a man who realizes he is invisible to the people around him and has to decide whether to keep fading or to make himself seen. I trim footage, adjust color, build the emotional rhythm. The work is meditative, familiar, safe. My phone buzzes. Another message in the family group chat. Margaret. Colin, are you coming to dinner Friday? Tara's really excited about the new restaurant. I look at the message for a long time. Then I type a response. Can't make it. Work stuff. 3 dots appear immediately. Someone is typing. The dots disappear, appear again, disappear. No response comes. I go back to my editing. Cut, trim, adjust. Build something that makes sense out of chaos. Outside my window, the city lights blur in the distance. Inside, I work until my eyes are tired and my back aches. Work until the short film is finished, exported, saved. The story ends with the invisible man walking away from the people who cannot see him, toward a light in the distance, toward something new. I watch the final cut one more time, then close my laptop. Tomorrow, Doug will send the calendar invite for the bank meeting. Tomorrow, everything changes. Tonight, I sleep better than I have in years. The email arrives Thursday morning. Calendar invite from Valley Trust Bank. Subject line, account review meeting. Date, next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Attendees, Colin Mercer, Margaret Mercer, Leon Mercer, Tara Grant, Colby Grant, Douglas Halpern, Allison Price, phone. I accept the invitation and forward it to Allison. She responds within minutes. Perfect, I'll be on speaker. Remember, let Doug explain the institutional policies. You stay calm and state your boundaries clearly. That's it. At the studio, I finish the last edit on the commercial project. Kate approves it with enthusiasm. The client will be happy. My work is good. It is always good. That is not the problem. My phone rings. My mother. I let it go to voicemail. She calls again an hour later. Again, I let it ring. On the 3rd call, I answer. Colin, honey, are you okay? You haven't been returning my calls. I've been busy, Mom. Well, I got this strange email from the bank. Something about an account review meeting. Do you know what that's about? Yes. A pause. Colin, what's going on? We'll talk about it at the meeting. Talk about what? Is something wrong? We'll talk at the meeting, I repeat. Colin, you're worrying me. If there's a problem with the accounts, you should tell me now. The problem is that the accounts have been used in ways they weren't supposed to be used. We're going to fix that. Another pause, longer this time. Does this have something to do with the dinner? Because if you're upset about that, we can talk about it. You don't need to involve the bank. This has to do with 3 years of being treated like an ATM, Mom. And yes, we do need to involve the bank. Colin, I'll see you Tuesday. I hang up. My hand is shaking now, but not with fear. With something else. Something that feels like the tight cut in an edit, where everything before was building to this moment and everything after will be different. My phone buzzes immediately, the family group chat. Tara. Okay, what's this bank meeting about? Margaret. I don't know. Colin says we'll talk about it then. Tara. Colin, seriously, what's going on? Colby. This is about the anniversary thing, isn't it? Dude, we were just joking around. I watched the messages come in. Don't respond, just watch. Margaret. Maybe we should all talk before the meeting, clear the air. Tara. Good idea. Colin, want to grab coffee tomorrow? Still, I do not respond. That night, I organize everything one more time. Digital folders backed up to 3 different locations. Physical papers sorted into categories. Timeline document updated with the most recent events. Everything ready. I pull out the folder from the bank, the one with all the account summaries Doug gave me, read through it again, making sure I understand every detail, every number, every authorization, every change that is about to happen. My parents' savings will be protected, spending limits restored, access points closed. My name will remain as co-trustee, but with the new structure requiring dual authorization for large transactions. My credit will be protected from Colby's business line. Tara's cards will be canceled. It is all very clean, very legal, very final. Saturday, I get a call from my father. This surprises me. Leon never calls. Colin. His voice is quiet, uncertain. Your mother is very upset. I know. She says you're doing something with the bank accounts. I am. Can you tell me what? I think about how to explain this to him. Leon, who spent 40 years as an electrician, who is good with his hands, but not with confrontation. Dad, do you know how much money I've given to Tara and Mom over the past 3 years? No. Some, I guess. Over $60,000. Silence. Dad? That seems like a lot. It is a lot, and most of it went to things they wanted, not things they needed. Vacations, furniture, lifestyle expenses. Meanwhile, they've been using my credit to take out more debt that I'm responsible for if they don't pay. More silence. Then, I didn't know it was that much. Neither did I until I looked. That's the problem. Everyone assumed I would just keep paying, that I didn't have a choice. What are you going to do? Protect you and Mom. Make sure your savings stay yours, but I'm not going to keep funding Tara's lifestyle. He breathes slowly into the phone. Your mother isn't going to like this. I know. Tara really isn't going to like this. I know that too. But you're doing it anyway. Yes. Another long pause. Then quietly, Okay. Okay? You're a good son, Colin. Better than we deserved, maybe. If you think this is what needs to happen, then I trust you. Something loosens in my chest. Thanks, Dad. I'll see you Tuesday. Sunday. I don't leave my apartment. I work on my personal film project, make edits, watch it come together. The invisible man walking away from the people who can't see him, toward something new. Monday, I go to the studio and work a full day. Leo checks on me twice, asks if I need anything. I tell him I'm fine. He doesn't believe me, but doesn't push. That evening, Allison calls. Tomorrow's the day. You ready? As ready as I'll be. Remember, this isn't about convincing them you're right. This is about establishing new boundaries and letting them know those boundaries are non-negotiable. Doug will handle the institutional explanation. I'll provide legal context if needed. You just need to state your position clearly and then leave. Leave? Yes. Once the information is delivered and your boundaries are stated, your job is done. Don't get drawn into arguments. Don't defend yourself beyond the initial statement. Just leave and let them process. What if they try to stop me? They can't. You're an adult making legal decisions about your own accounts and authorizations. They have no power to prevent that. I sleep poorly that night, but I do sleep. And when I wake Tuesday morning, I feel calm, focused, ready. At 1:30, I arrive at the bank. Doug meets me in the lobby. Conference room is ready. Your attorney is on standby. Are you good? Yes. All right, let's do this. The conference room is all glass walls and polished wood. A long table, comfortable chairs, a speakerphone in the center. Doug has laid out folders at each seat. Neat, organized, professional. I take a seat near the head of the table. Doug sits at the actual head. The speakerphone is already connected, a green light showing the line is active. Allison, Doug says. I'm here. Her voice comes through clearly. Ready when you are. At 5 minutes to 2, my family arrives. Margaret comes in first, her face tight with worry and something else. Anger, maybe, or fear. Leon follows, looking uncomfortable in a button-down shirt. Tara and Colby come last, Tara's expression hovering between annoyed and confused. What is all this? Tara asks, gesturing at the folders. Please, have a seat, Doug says calmly. We'll explain everything. They sit, Margaret directly across from me, Leon beside her, Tara and Colby at the far end. Thank you all for coming, Doug begins. My name is Douglas Halpern, Senior Account Manager here at Valley Trust Bank. I've asked you here today because Colin Mercer has requested a comprehensive review of all accounts where his name appears as an account holder, co-trustee, or guarantor. Tara leans back in her chair. Okay? And based on that review, we've identified several concerns regarding spending patterns, unauthorized access, and financial risks to the primary account holder, in this case, Colin. Unauthorized access? Margaret's voice rises. We're family. Colin gave us access. That's partially correct, Doug says smoothly. Colin did authorize certain access points several years ago. However, the scope and volume of usage has significantly exceeded the original intent of those authorizations. He opens the first folder and slides papers across the table. These are summaries of account activity over the past 3 years. I want to draw your attention to several key points. I watch their faces as they look at the papers. Numbers, dates, transaction histories. As you can see, Doug continues, there have been over 200 transfers and charges totaling approximately $63,000 from Colin's accounts to various family members, primarily Tara Grant. Colin agreed to help us, Tara says quickly. Every time. The issue isn't whether Colin provided assistance, Doug says. The issue is the pattern of escalation and the recent discovery of account modifications that Colin did not authorize. He slides another set of papers forward. In February of this year, several accounts were modified to increase spending limits and add new lines of credit. These modifications were submitted electronically using Colin's identification, but Colin has stated he did not personally authorize them. Margaret's face goes pale. I don't understand. What it means, Mrs. Mercer, is that someone accessed Colin's account information and made changes without his explicit permission. That's a violation of our terms of service and potentially constitutes fraud. Fraud? Colby sits forward. That's a serious accusation. It's a serious situation, Doug agrees, which is why we're addressing it now. Allison's voice comes through the speaker. This is Allison Price, Mr. Mercer's attorney. I want to clarify the legal position here. Colin has every right to modify or revoke access to accounts where he is the primary holder or guarantor. He also has the right, as co-trustee on his parents' accounts, to implement protective measures if he believes those accounts are being misused. Misused? Margaret looks at me for the first time. Colin, do you really think we were misusing your money? I meet her eyes. Yes, Mom, I do. How can you say that? We're your family. Everything we asked for was important. Was the spa trip important? Was the new furniture important? Was the vacation to Sedona that you're planning important? Tara's face flushes. You're seriously doing this? In front of a bank manager? This is family business. It stopped being family business when it started affecting my credit rating and financial security, I say. My voice is steady, calm. You've been using my money and my credit like it's yours, like I don't have a choice, like I'm just an ATM you can withdraw from whenever you want. That's not fair, Margaret says. We never thought of you that way. Then how do you explain the $1,000 bill at the anniversary dinner? How do you explain telling me I'm basically your ATM in front of everyone? Tara crosses her arms. It was a joke. It wasn't a joke to me. Doug clears his throat. Let's focus on the actual changes being implemented. Colin has requested, and we have approved, the following modifications. He reads from a prepared statement. Each word is clear, professional, final. All authorized user credit cards linked to Colin's accounts will be canceled effective immediately. The joint line of credit listing Colin as guarantor will be closed, with the outstanding balance transferred to the primary borrower's responsibility. Spending limits on accounts where Colin's parents are primary holders will be restored to their original levels. And most importantly, Colin's co-trustee status will be modified to require dual authorization for any withdrawal over $500 or any new credit application. You can't do this, Tara says. He can, Allison responds through the speaker. And he has. These are Colin's legal rights, and the bank is obligated to implement them. Margaret is shaking her head. Colin, please, let's talk about this. We can work something out. We're working it out now, Mom. You're cutting us off. You're abandoning us. No, I'm protecting you and Dad. I'm making sure your savings stay yours. What I'm cutting off is the free access that Tara and Colby have been using to fund their lifestyle. Colby stands up. This is insane. You're going to destroy this family over money? I'm not the one who made this about money, I say. You did. Every time you expected me to pay. Every time you treated me like I owed you something just because I'm family. We do help each other, Margaret insists. That's what families do. Helping is temporary. What you've been doing is permanent. You don't help someone by using them until they break. Doug stands. I think we've covered the main points. The changes are effective as of tomorrow morning. You'll each receive confirmation emails with the updated account structures. If you have questions about your specific accounts, you can call me directly. Tara's phone buzzes on the table. She glances at it, and her expression changes. What the... That would be the notification that your authorized user card has been canceled, Doug says. As I mentioned, the changes are immediate. She looks up at me, and for the first time, I see something other than entitlement in her face. Fear, maybe, or the beginning of understanding. You're really doing this, she says quietly. Yes. After everything we've been through, after all the years of being a family. We can still be a family, I say. But not like this. Not with you treating me like a resource instead of a person. I stand up, push my chair in, look at my parents one more time. Mom, Dad, your accounts are protected. You'll never want for anything you actually need, but I won't fund luxury purchases anymore. I won't be guilted into paying for things you can't afford, and I definitely won't be insulted and humiliated for my trouble. Colin, my mother starts. I'm done talking, I say. If you want me in your life, it won't be because of my bank account. It'll be because you value me as a person. I walk toward the door. Behind me, Tara's voice. This isn't over. I turn back. Yes, it is. And I walk out. The lobby is bright and busy with afternoon customers. I walk through it without stopping, push through the glass doors into the parking lot. The sun is sharp, the air cold. I get in my car and sit there for a moment, hands on the steering wheel. My phone is already buzzing, messages in the family group chat. I don't look. Instead, I drive to the studio. It's only 3 o'clock, but I need to be somewhere that makes sense, somewhere people value what I do instead of what I have. Leo sees me come in. How'd it go? It's done. You okay? I think so. He studies my face. You want to grab a drink after work? Yeah, that'd be good. I sit down at my editing bay and pull up a new project. A documentary about independent filmmakers. Real people doing real work, passionate about their craft. I lose myself in the footage, in the rhythm of cutting and building. My phone buzzes constantly for the next 2 hours. I ignore it. At 6, Leo and I walk to the bar across the street. It's a quiet place, dark wood, and low lights. We order beers and sit in a corner booth. You want to talk about it? He asks. I cut off my sister's access to my money, my parents too, sort of. Made it so they can't use me anymore. How'd they take it? About as well as you'd expect. He nods. They'll either come around or they won't. Either way, you did the right thing. Doesn't feel right yet. It will. He takes a drink. Give it time. We sit in comfortable silence for a while. The bar fills up slowly. Other people finishing their workdays, decompressing, living their lives. My phone buzzes again. This time I look. It's my father. Hello? Colin. His voice is quiet. I just wanted to call and say, you were right. I sit up straighter. Dad? I've been looking at the papers the bank gave us. Really looking at them. I didn't realize how much money was going out. How much Tara was spending. I tried to tell Mom. I know, and your mother. She's upset right now, but she'll come around. She just needs time to see that you're protecting us, not hurting us. Something eases in my chest. Thanks for saying that. Tara and Colby already left. There was some yelling. Your mother is in the bedroom. But Colin? Yeah? I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. I should have done that a long time ago, helped you set those boundaries. But I didn't, and I'm sorry. My throat tightens. It's okay, Dad. No, it's not. But we'll do better going forward, I promise. I'd like that. Get some rest, son. I'll talk to you soon. He hangs up. I stare at the phone for a long moment. Good news? Leo asks. My dad gets it. That's something? That's everything, Leo corrects. That's where you start rebuilding. I finish my beer, order another, let the tension slowly drain from my shoulders. That night, I finally look at the family group chat. Dozens of messages. Most from Tara, some from my mother. Angry, accusatory, desperate. The last message is from Tara, sent an hour ago. You're going to regret this. Just wait. I leave the group chat. Delete it from my phone. Then I open my email and find the confirmation from the bank. All changes implemented, all boundaries set, all access revoked. It's over. I sleep that night without dreaming, and when I wake Wednesday morning, the first thing I notice is the absence of anxiety. No notifications from unauthorized charges, no messages demanding money, no weight on my chest wondering what they'll ask for next. Just silence. At the studio, Kate calls me into her office. I heard you had a rough week, she says. Word travels fast. Leo's worried about you, said you were dealing with family stuff. Was dealing with it. It's handled now. She nods. Good, because I have a new project for you. Feature film trailer, big budget, tight timeline. You interested? Absolutely. Great. Client wants to meet you tomorrow. Go over the vision. This could be a really good opportunity, Colin, the kind that leads to more work. I feel something shift. A door opening. I won't let you down. I know you won't. That's why I'm giving it to you. Thursday, my mother calls. I answer carefully. Colin, can we talk? Sure, Mom. I've been thinking about what happened at the bank, about what you said. She pauses. You were right, about a lot of it. Mom, let me finish. I didn't see how much we were asking of you. Or maybe I did see it, but I didn't want to admit it. It was easier to think you were just being generous than to face the fact that we were taking advantage. Thank you for saying that. Your father showed me the full account history last night. All of it. Colin, I had no idea it was so much money, or that Tara had been, well, that she'd been as excessive as she was. It's not just the money, Mom. It's how I was treated. Like I didn't matter except as a source of funds. I know, and I'm sorry. Truly. Her voice cracks slightly. I don't want to lose you over this. You won't lose me, but things have to be different. They will be, I promise. We talk for another 20 minutes. Real conversation, not demands or guilt trips, just a mother and son trying to find their way back to each other. When we hang up, I feel lighter. Friday evening, I'm at home editing the new trailer project when someone knocks on my door. I'm not expecting anyone. I look through the peephole. It's Tara. I open the door, but don't invite her in. Colin. She looks different. Smaller somehow. Less certain. Can we talk? About what? About what happened. About everything. I lean against the doorframe. I'm listening. I was wrong. The words come out rushed, like she's been practicing them. I took advantage of you, for years, and I justified it by telling myself it was just family helping family, but it wasn't that. I was using you. Yes, you were. She flinches but doesn't argue. The thing is, I didn't even realize how bad it had gotten until the bank laid it all out. Seeing those numbers, seeing the pattern, I was shocked. You should have been shocked years ago. I know. She looks down. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, or maybe ever, but I wanted you to know that I understand now. What I did, what I took from you. What about Colby? He's angry. At you, at me, at the situation. We've been fighting a lot. The business line being closed, that hit us hard. We might have to sell the new car. Cut back on a lot of things. That's what happens when you live beyond your means. Yeah, she meets my eyes. It is. We stand there in silence for a moment. Are you going to be okay? I ask finally. I think so. Eventually. We have to figure some stuff out, get our finances in order. Actually stick to a budget for once. She laughs, but it's hollow. Turns out having a responsible brother made us really irresponsible. I'm not bailing you out again, Tara. I know. I'm not asking you to. She straightens. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and that I hope someday we can have a relationship that isn't about money. I'd like that too. She nods and turns to leave, then stops. For what it's worth, what you did took guts, standing up to all of us like that. I was really mad at first, but now, I think maybe you saved me from something worse, from becoming someone I really didn't want to be. Take care of yourself, Tara. You too, Colin. I close the door and lean against it, processing. That wasn't what I expected. Maybe not forgiveness yet, but understanding, acknowledgement. It's a start. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in the editing suite putting final touches on the feature trailer. It's some of my best work. tight pacing, emotional beats, perfect music cues. Kate has already told me the client is thrilled. My phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Mercer? This is Cameron from Valley Trust Bank. We met briefly during your account review process. Yes, I remember. I'm calling with good news. The investigation into the business line of credit has been completed. We were able to verify that the authorization using your information was submitted without your direct consent. Your name has been removed as guarantor, and you're no longer liable for any of that debt. Relief washes through me. That's great. Thank you. Additionally, we flagged the account for irregular activity, which means the primary borrower will need to provide additional documentation to maintain access. Just so you're aware. I appreciate you letting me know. After I hang up, I sit back in my chair and let it sink in. It's really over. All of it. Every financial tie to Tara and Colby severed, my credit protected, my parents' accounts secured. I'm free. Leo pokes his head into my bay. Lunch? Yeah, let's go. At the cafe down the street, we order sandwiches and sit by the window. You seem different, Leo observes. Different how? Lighter, like you're not carrying something heavy anymore. I'm not. I take a bite of my sandwich. It's weird, actually. I keep expecting someone to ask me for money or tell me about some emergency I need to fix, but it's just quiet. That's called having boundaries. Most people have them their whole lives. Yeah, well, better late than never. He grins. So what's next, now that you're not funding your family's lifestyle? I don't know. Maybe I'll actually start saving money, take a real vacation, buy that new camera equipment I've been eyeing for years. Sounds radical. Right? Spending money on myself. What a concept. We laugh, and it feels good. Normal. Like I'm just a regular person living a regular life. My phone buzzes. A text from my father. Your mother wants to know if you're free for dinner Sunday, just the three of us. No agenda. I type back, yeah, I can do that. Good, he responds. See you then. Sunday comes. I drive to my parents' house with a bottle of wine and no anxiety. When I knock, my father answers. Colin, come in. The house smells like roast chicken. My mother is in the kitchen wearing an apron. Hi, honey. She hugs me, and it feels genuine. Dinner's almost ready. We eat at the small kitchen table, just the three of us. The conversation is careful at first, but it loosens as we go. We talk about my new project, about Dad's plans to finally organize the garage, about a book Mom just finished. Nobody mentions Tara. Nobody mentions money. It's just nice. After dinner, my father and I clear the dishes while Mom makes coffee. How's work going? He asks. Really good, actually. This new project could lead to bigger things. That's great, son. He rinses a plate and hands it to me to dry. You know, I've been thinking about what you said at the bank, about how we were using you. Dad, we don't have to. No, let me say this. He turns off the water and faces me. I was passive for too long. I let your mother and Tara push you around because it was easier than standing up to them. That wasn't fair to you. You called me after the meeting. That meant a lot. It should have happened years ago. He dries his hands on a towel. But I'm here now, and if your mother or Tara ever try to guilt you into anything again, I'll shut it down, I promise. Thanks, Dad. We finish the dishes in comfortable silence. In the living room, Mom has coffee and dessert waiting. We sit and talk until almost 9. Real conversation. No hidden agendas, no requests for money disguised as casual conversation. Just family, trying to figure out how to be family in a healthier way. When I leave, my mother hugs me at the door. Come back next Sunday, she asks. If you're free, I'd like that. Driving home, I think about how different everything feels. The weight that's been lifted, the clarity that comes from finally setting boundaries. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Hey Colin, it's Tara. I know we're not in a good place right now, but I wanted you to know. Colby and I are seeing a financial counselor, trying to get our stuff together. Thought you'd want to know. I stare at the message for a long moment, then type, That's good. I'm glad you're getting help. She responds with a simple, Thanks. I don't know if things will ever be completely normal with Tara. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But at least now there's a foundation of honesty instead of exploitation. At home, I make tea and sit at my editing desk. Pull up the personal film project I finished weeks ago. The invisible man walking away from people who couldn't see him. I watch it one more time, and this time I see it differently. Not as a story about leaving, but as a story about choosing yourself when no one else will. I export a final version and upload it to my portfolio. Then I open a new project file. Fresh timeline, clean slate, whatever comes next, I'm ready. Tuesday morning, 2 months after the bank meeting, I arrive at the studio to find Kate waiting with a smile. Conference room, now. What's going on? Just come on. Inside the conference room, 3 people I don't recognize sit at the table with contracts spread in front of them. Kate gestures for me to sit. Colin, these are the producers from Meridian Pictures. They saw the trailer you cut for their film. A woman with sharp eyes and expensive glasses extends her hand. Mr. Mercer, I'm Victoria Strand. Your trailer was exceptional. We'd like to talk about bringing you on for a multi-picture deal. I shake her hand, trying to process. Multi-picture? 3 films over 2 years. You'd be lead editor on all marketing materials. Full creative control, significant compensation. She slides a folder toward me. The details are all here. I open the folder. The numbers make my breath catch. This is career-changing money, security, freedom. You earned it, Victoria says. Your work speaks for itself. We spend an hour going over details. When they leave, Kate closes the door. You okay? You look shell-shocked. I think I just landed the biggest opportunity of my career. You did, and you deserve it, Colin. I call my father from the parking lot. Dad, I got some news. I tell him about the contract. He listens, genuinely excited. That's wonderful, son. Really wonderful. I wanted you to know first. Colin, I'm proud of you, not just for this, but for standing up for yourself. That takes courage. My throat tightens. Thanks. That means a lot. That evening, my phone chimes. A text from Tara. Dad told me about your contract. That's really great, Colin. You deserve it. No sarcasm, no joke about money. Just genuine congratulation. I type back, thanks. How are things? Getting better, slowly. We're on a strict budget and it sucks, but we're managing. That's good. Colin? I see it clearly now, how we treated you. It was wrong. Think maybe we could get coffee sometime? No money talk, just siblings. I consider it. Maybe she really is trying. Yeah, that'd be nice. Monday morning, the first day of the new contract, I arrive at the studio early. My editing bay has been upgraded. Bigger monitors, better equipment, a sign with my name on the door. Lead editor, Colin Mercer. Leo walks by with coffee. Look at you, moving up in the world. Still feels surreal. Get used to it. You earned this. I settle into my chair and pull up the first project file. Fresh footage, unlimited creative potential. I start building the timeline, finding the rhythm, making the cuts that will turn raw material into something people want to watch. My phone buzzes. A notification from the bank. Automatic transfer completed. $500 to retirement savings. $500 a month, automatically saved. Money for me, for my future, not someone else's emergency. The editing timeline grows, one cut, then another. Building something real with my own hands, not because I have to, not because someone expects it, because I chose it. I remember standing in that dark parking lot months ago, ripping a bill, walking away. The moment everything changed, the moment I stopped being their ATM and became myself again. The timeline plays, perfect rhythm, perfect cuts, perfect story. I save the file and start the next sequence.